What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today to talk about the return of Shadow King here. Now that the event is fully live here, as you can see, for the next 12 days, as well as an opportunity to maximize his shards if you haven't already. So I did it yesterday. It's quite straightforward now because if you have seen these events returning and whatnot, you definitely want to take advantage of them. And as well, I want to walk you guys through all of the different points I was able to utilize here for my scoring in terms of the packs or scourges activated, and as well walk you through each team here. For the actual gameplay, guys, I'm gonna have my videos linked below from previous times because it doesn't really make sense to re-record it if it's the exact same strategy. It's kind of what I followed. If for those of you that just need a refresh here, but I also want to point this out, guys, before we get started here, is that you don't need to actually finish all 10 nodes to get to the finish here for the milestones. So what do I mean by that? Well, as you can see here, all the milestones have already been completed, and this is kind of one of the big incentives for us obviously already finishing this event, is that you can get all this again. The rewards, especially the purple ice away crimson gear, which is nice. It's not a lot, but every little bit does help, especially when you don't necessarily need to invest in additional resources. Having said that, I did switch it up a little bit for some of the team dynamics, but again, felt very smooth. So I'm going to walk you guys through each of the teams I used and point out some tips and tricks here and there, but let me show you the mods. For me anyways, if you do about roughly 85 packs and do finish the 9 nodes here, as you see, that should be able to get you to that final run score north of 1.4 million. That's probably because we finished some nodes earlier and we're more efficient in that regard. Okay, so what I had, some of the big ones, right? I'm just going to quickly scroll down so you guys can see. We got Villainous Momentum. Are You Not Entertained? This is a big one because it gives the arena bonuses for Annihilators. Dark Cosmic Rays, Devour, Bio Villain bonus, Forged in Fire, Cosmic Crucible. Make sure you guys have this one activated because it gives a lot of bonuses obviously for if you're using Illuminati, if you're using the Cabal team for some of the nodes. This is going to help for sure. And then I needed something a little bit just to give us a boost here in terms of points. So Weaken wasn't a good one because it just reduces healing by 20%. But trust me, you won't be needing it with the way that you're progressing with some of these teams. And the nice thing about this is you can also see my team levels too, right? Which characters have been invested in overall. So even before I get started here, to show you guys the nodes here, let me just point this one out actually. This node 4 gives folks a lot of issues and a hard time. So make sure you guys have, as you can see on my brawlers here, make sure you have Nightcrawler charged up with his ultimate ability. Now, because of all the sentries that start off, the sentinels that start off, and you need to get rid of them. The ultimate for Nightcrawler is an absolute must-have. It just makes the node a lot easier. Do you need him for sure? No, but he makes it a lot easier, and you don't need to sack as well. So just a heads up there. Now, that then leads to the question. Obviously, he doesn't start with his ultimate ability. How do you charge that up? Well, that's what you can do with Node 1. So I bring in Old Man Logan plus my Extreme X-Men team. I know, very dated team, but they still have value here because you can essentially roll through this node with any team almost in the game with no restrictions. But just make sure Nightcrawler's there and make sure he has his abilities charged up, because otherwise you're going to be regretting that Node 4 later on. And this just makes it makes it a lot easier. And you don't need Extreme X-Men again, which is why I kind of like slotting them in here, and you can use their abilities at the utmost. Mission 2. So you don't have a choice here, obviously. This is my Illuminati team. I actually have the variant here without Iron Man. My Iron Man's not invested in, but not an issue. Definitely Captain Britain makes a big difference for sure, but as you can see, you don't need every character I gear to 19. Having said that, I mean, make sure you guys check out my video in the description below, because there is a certain strategy to this. If you're not doing it correctly, you may not be able to get through it. You have to control a mix of the Krakens, not Krakens, Cravens, and as well as the Lizard, to make sure that they're not using their abilities. And if you're controlling them right, you should be able to prepare your abilities to finish off the Green Goblin Classic, who's another issue on this node. So this one just takes a bit of RNG, but definitely doable, as you can see. Next up, we have node 3 here, Global Villain. Super easy. In the past, I've brought in Cabal just because I invested in them, but I mean, honestly, most folks are going to likely have Orcus now fully built up, especially for raid. So just you can use these guys and completely auto the whole round. It's just a super easy. Global Villain's not an issue for a lot of folks, and there's some really powerful Global Villain characters as well. Brawler, non-mythic, as I mentioned. There's a lot of options you can use here, but I just use characters in the meta, right? So obviously, we have Lady Deathstrike from Orcus. Val was kind of like an OG character for me that I previously used in the Dark Dimension, so that's why she's there. Is she necessary? No. I would say some important characters, obviously, is Nightcrawler, Lady Deathstrike. I like Thanos Endgame because you can do a few things with him in terms of, you know, the exposure mechanic, you know, and especially synergizing that with Nightcrawler. That's kind of why I like Val, because all of them have exposure and they can generate ability energy for each other, but not necessarily required. This node is not too bad, so as long as you have Nightcrawler on the mix and then some good damage and sustain there. Mission 5. So you don't have a choice here. You have to use mercenary characters. I think if you have a strong enough Undying, you can also get by. But I just throw in my my weak my weak zombie Undying team, as you can see, and then I just go in with my mercs for hire. Now having said that, make sure that this team here, there's a bit of RNG, but as you can see, really you only need Old Man Logan invested in. Everybody else was great at tier 18, but there's still a bit of RNG because you're up against some characters that can kill you without giving you the ability to revive, which is what the mercs actually thrive in, right? So just something to watch for. Mission 6, we got the Annihilator team. Yeah, but no issues here. You just gotta make sure you're targeting the right characters there. And again, I got the video on it, but most folks should already have the 3-piece of Annihilators built up because of the arena meta, so no issues whatsoever there. Just make sure you're targeting. And again, I find sometimes this one could be dependent on the RNG. Maybe if Thanos Endgame does or does not land his passive. So that's the one thing to watch for sure. We got Corcus here, once again, an auto node, so no issues whatsoever there. And then as well, we have Mission 8 here, being the Brawler, non-mythic once again. So yeah, exact same team. This one's even easier than Mission 4, so this one, just no issues whatsoever. Make sure you guys take advantage of that. And then last but not least, we also have Mercs back here again, and this one's super easy. You can auto this one. It's very, very straightforward. And having said that, you don't even need to do the last node because it doesn't matter. Because when you do all that, it's going to allow you to finish all this and allow you to maximize the rewards, and as well as obviously Shadow King himself with some of the upgrades respectively, Purple Ice Away, Crimson Gear. So yeah, it's a nice little boost. There's a little bit of gold involved as well, but I mean, it's nice for endgame players, and even for players that are trying to progress. This is a good way to kind of benchmark and see where you're at. And hopefully this was able to give you a sense of the investments I utilize as well, and the different packs I activate to get this done. Yeah, so do let me know what works and what doesn't work below, guys. I do appreciate hearing back. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.